How do you make someone feel? Obviously setting them up for success is really important. How do you make them feel comfortable? I know that's part of it.
That's a great question, and it's easier than most people think. But you need to be approachable. Number one, if I were a guest, I would shake your hand. I'd give you the wrist in the handshake. I'd be saying thank you so much for being. We're really honored that you're here. We're going to make this a great experience. I'm not going to barbecue you in any way. I try to reassure them up front. And that gives them a level of comfort. And then I show extreme interest. The interviewer is supposed to drive the interview, ask all the questions, lean in, make eye contact, show genuine interest that you're listening to what they have to say, which is a mistake that a lot of people make in the broadcast business and in corporate meetings that I've seen, where they're nervous. First of all, the amateurs are generally nervous to have an interview with an executive or a celebrity. And so they'll have a list of cards with questions on them. And I'll use an example from the 60s. There was a talk show host that I used to watch, and then I met him later, named Dick Cavett. And he had a show on the ABC network. And Dick said, I almost got fired because I was such a bad interviewer. And so he told me the story that he had this treasure hunter on his show. And the guy was a famous treasure hunter. He brought up millions from the ocean floor. And he's telling us he's a colorful guy with a hat, and he's swinging his arms around. And he said, yeah, Dick, we went down 1,000 feet. We got the equipment, got down 1,000 feet and drug up this big chest. And we got it on the sand, Dick, and opened it up with our torches. You are not going to believe what we found inside that chest. And Dick looks at him and goes, do you have any hobbies? Oh. He said this guy was telling the most interesting story, and all I could see were the cue cards behind his head about my next question. And I said, I think I drifted off, but I wasn't listening to him. And that's death to an interviewer, because the audience was listening. The audience was on the edge of the seat. Come on, tell us what was in the chest. And he blew it. He completely blew it. It proved that he had no credibility as a talk show host. And it destroyed it for the audience. The audience was very uncomfortable, and you gotta listen. We all have a plan. I mentioned that we all have this is a professional conversation. We're gonna have a plan, but you have to be fluid enough to know when the plan's going sideways. Your guest may not be professional. They may get distracted, but that's our job, is to reel you back in and pay attention to what you are saying. Because what if, in the off chance, you say something like, there's a we got all this money up from the bottom of the ocean floor, and then I killed a guy. But then the other thing happened. I go, what? They just heard you say you killed. What? Stop.
And they hear nothing else.
They hear nothing else. You're right. So it's a juggling act that has to stay on pace, be condensed. Corporate meetings, as you know, the timing is so crucial that this cannot be a long, drawn-out, real-time conversation.